Alright, I'm shooting a short video on just basically how you set up the tech on a Sunday morning. So here I am at the desk. I'm just going to walk through it step by step and hopefully that will be sufficient. So here I am, everything is up and not ready to go, but it will be soon. So the first thing, of course, let's just turn on some lights. You can just press the top button here, everything will turn on if you press it correctly. Here we've got the sound desk. And what we're just going to do is turn on the power. So note here it says first off and first on. So because we're turning it on, we're going to put this one on. Wait till everything kind of lights up, which is the desk like this. And then we're going to click the next one. Just give it a second. And the next one. And basically this will turn on both the speakers on the sides and also the speaker up above at the top. That's what those ones do. So then we've got the sound desk. We'll come back to that a little bit later on. While we're here, we might as well turn on our receivers as well. These are for the wireless headset and the wireless mic. You'll notice here we've got the headphones. We'll use them a little bit later as well. All the units up here, just so you're aware of what we've got obviously the sound desk. These are a couple of devices here. This one here is what's called an effects channel. You generally won't need to use that, but that's how we can add some special effects like reverb and stuff to each channel. This is just to stop feedback from the handheld or radio mic. And this unit here is a splitter. So basically it takes the signal that will come through the front of house, or the sound, and directs it out several lines, which include, this one is to the televisions, this one is to the recorder over here. This one goes into the TVs out in the foyer, and this one goes into the hearing loop. So speaking of the hearing loop, this is the unit up here. We're just going to press that on as well. Let that start up. We should be fine. Now over here on this other side here, we've got our now computers kind of section, lots of screens. We've got our PC supply. Now that usually just stays on all the time, so don't worry about turning that off. Now left and right projectors, basically they'll turn on all the power points on the right and the left hand side of the lighting bars, and so we're going to turn both of those on just like that. The lights might flash a little bit, you'll hear the fans kick in, that's all normal. Fans are important for projectors and for lights in order to cool them. Now, here is our setup. Speaking of lights, we're going to talk about lights first, which is our computer on the far left. Now, as you can see, this has already been turned on, but I'm just going to put it into sleep mode, first of all, because this is primarily how you'll probably find it. Something along the lines of this, that is turned off. Now, here on our lighting section, we've got the computer with its keyboard and its mouse, and we've also got the lighting console. All right, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. This also has a cover, which you can just put to the side when you're not using. All right, so in order to turn on a lighting computer, we just press our power button, or we maybe shake the mouse or something like that. You know, whatever you do to usually wake up a computer, and it will wake up. Now, this computer is the only one which actually has a password. It's actually a PIN, and it is simply, here we go, ASBC. Oops, I didn't do that very well. ASBC are the letters. 4 digits, press enter, and we open up. Now, this program is called Onyx, okay, and Onyx is basically our lighting control software, and it's connected to our lighting console as well. I won't go into the details of lighting for the sake of today, but it's basically the only piece of software that's installed on the computer. It should be kept open. There's no need to shut this computer down at any point in time just to put it to sleep. And for the sake of a Sunday morning, all you need to do here is these particular channels are connected with particular lighting effects. So first of all, this first channel, if I push my finger up like this, you can see the lights come up, and that is front lighting. I'll just turn it down for the sake of seeing. You can see up and down, so that's front lighting. The second channel here, as I push my finger up here, is the back lighting. So you can see here, down, up. Okay, third channel is right over there in the side there. We call it choir, which is where the choir would stand. If they had it, you might not need that on a Sunday. And then the fourth channel is kind of upper stage. So you can just see just at the top of the upper stage disappearing and reappearing. So that's drums, guitars, all that kind of stuff there. So generally on a Sunday, your channels will look something like this. So front light, back light, some upper stage. The other thing, if you want to use the mover with its kind of rotating back around here, you can slide up on this channel here, and that will just move and cause that nice little rotating effect in the background. If you pull that down, it disappears, as you can see there. Push it back up, and it comes back up. Anyway, you don't need to move that around too much, but that's how you get that effect. So essentially on a Sunday, that's how your lighting desk will be set up, and that's the effect that you'll get. All right, so that's it. Obviously, you can turn on your projectors as well while you're here. Just press that one on. You can use the remote to turn on your other projectors. Obviously, you can only do this once the power is on. Okay, so now that we've got our lighting set up, we've got our sound desk turned on, we're going to talk about streaming and projection. So lots of screens here. First of all, we're going to turn on our projection computer, and we do that by pressing the power button down here. All right, so that will kick into gear. Like all the other computers, we've got a mouse, a keyboard. You should never need to turn off the monitors. They'll just do their thing. That will be fine. So we're just going to let that start up. You can see our projectors are kicking in. They'll be blue, hopefully not for a very long time. If you ever find there's issues with projectors, so I'm kind of a little bit confused by why that one's blue and the other one isn't. Maybe there's a little bit of a signal issue, a little bit of conflict. All you need to do is on this matrix down here, you can see that basically what it does is it directs a series of inputs, such as the computer and the camera, and directs them to outputs. Now I'm having a look over there, I'm going, why is my left-hand projector, or stage right projector, blue? Well, let's just change our setting here. That's the right-hand side, sorry, left-hand side projector. So at the moment, it's saying that it should be getting a signal from the computer, but it's not for whatever reason, so I'm going to change that to camera. You can see the camera's gone up there. I'm going to change it again, back to number 1. And anyway, it's gone black, which is exactly actually what we want it to be doing. For some reason, a little bit of extra weird power going through there, so that's back to normal now, which is on channel or output D on number 1. All right, now we've got our projector computer here. We're going to open up ProPresenter. Make sure that's all good to go. We're not going to go into the details of ProPresenter tonight or today either, but nevertheless, that is what we'll get. And I'll just pull up something onto the screens so that you can see how this all works. Now, while ProPresenter is opening up, we're going to turn on this little monitor here. It's just got a little power button on the side here. Just click it. Now, this basically is the feed from the camera, okay? So this is what's happening in the camera. You can use the remote and the zoom to move the camera. So here you can see I'm just shifting to the right, shifting to the left. So basically this is for panning and zooming, and tilting, and this is for zooming. So if I press this little button forward here, we zoom nice in, we pull it back, we zoom out. So that's for zoom. So they're the two camera controllers. The camera, of course, is up here on the back wall, looking out over the auditorium. All right, ProPresenter has started up, and so for the sake of this video, I'm going to put something on the screen. So let's put on this PowerPoint here. So I've clicked that on here, and you'll notice it's gone onto the projectors as well, which is great. Now, the question might be, why is this monitor not turned on? Well, it's because at present this monitor is connected through our streaming computer, which means that when our streaming computer isn't on, it will not turn on. You will notice though, you still get your preview in your top left-hand corner of ProPresenter, which can be very helpful, even if that monitor isn't on. But the next stage is to turn on our streaming computer. To do so, we duck under the desk here. We've got the tower, and the power button is just here on the top right. Press that, and it will start up. So the important thing behind all this is that we've kind of got two streams of information. Our first stream of information or data is from the projector computer. So whatever I change on here is obviously sending a visual signal out, as well as some audio. And then we also have our camera feed, which is again on this computer. So here's one feed, here's the second feed. So there are two feeds, and theoretically we can direct them anywhere, which is part of the power of this. What we're wanting to do, and what we do with the streaming computer, is we basically ensure that those two streams are available, or those two inputs are available, and then we can choose what we want the stream to have on it. So now that that's kind of loaded up, we're going to find our mouse. That's all right, there's so many mice and keyboard around here. We've got our mouse and keyboard for the streaming computer. This computer takes a little bit longer to load, just keep that in mind. And at present, it's connected to the internet via the lighting desk computer. So just keep that in mind. It's not on Wi-Fi at present or anything like that. Now here we're going to open up OBS Studio. You can click on this icon or click the icon down here and click the icon down there, and hopefully OBS will start up. Now OBS is our broadcasting or streaming software, and it will take those inputs that I mentioned earlier and broadcast them out. So we're just going to let that load. Again, it's a slightly slower computer, just keep that in mind. So it will take a little bit of time just to kick into gear. But here we go. All right. Excellent. So this is kicking in, it's logging into Twitch, which it will automatically do, assuming that you have an internet connection. If you don't have an internet connection, I just recommend you restart the computer. Yeah, that's basically what you want to do. All right, so here is the live stream. Now, okay, what we've got here is we've got our two signals. We've got our, if I, over here, in terms of our different scenes, I can change it to camera feed. That gets our camera feed. And then if I change it to projector feed, that's our projector feed. So hence, when I'm over here and I'm changing this to, say, this slide, it'll change over here too. Pretty smooth. We've also got picture-in-picture, which puts them side by side. This is particularly good for worship, where you need lyrics on the screen as well as a little bit of video feed. So if I change the lyrics over here just to Mighty to Save or something like that, you can see the lyrics are side by side with whatever's on the video. And so basically that works. In order to start the stream over here, we simply click Start Streaming and wait for that to load, which will take a couple of seconds. That means that we are live on Twitch. So just keep that in mind. Once it is live, anything you do on here will be sent out. Now I'm noticing here, and this is helpful to see as well, that we're having a few little jumps with our camera. I'm just going to move to our camera feed here. And you can see how it's got a few kind of lines going through it. Now that's not ideal. You can see it's kind of breaking up. It's not all, the signal's not all that strong. Like what's going on with that compared to our nice clear picture over here? This is to do with some power dynamics that are occurring in our system presently, but it's a good thing to be aware of. Now what I usually do if that is the case, we just duck over here. At present we're using this little game capture device here as our source for our camera, and so all I'm going to do is basically I'm going to pull out the power. See, no device. Okay, so it doesn't like that. And then we're going to stick it back in again. It's a bit easier when you don't have only one hand. So that's going to kick in. This is going to say 1 moment, please. And hopefully we'll kick back in very soon. As you can see, if we go back to our picture-in-picture, we've got our lyrics or our projection along with our video. All right, that's not kicking back in yet. Again, this is good troubleshooting. So, why didn't it kick back in? Hard to know. Probably an unstable device. So, what we're going to do, I know it sounds crazy, we're going to restart. Okay, because sometimes that's just what you need to do. So we're going to restart there, and hopefully next time it kicks in, it won't have that little flicker issue that we were having power-wise. So while that's all restarting, and it's a good little bit of practice to kind of do that all again, we're going to move over and talk a little bit about the fact that we've got 2 audio mixers. So if you're familiar with the sound desk, you'll be aware that you basically form an audio or front of house audio mix by basically adjusting your lines, unmuting and muting where required, and basically you end up with your front of house main mix that you put all out there. Now the difference is with the stream, you actually need a different sound mix. That's because, for example, in the auditorium, we have a drummer. The drummer doesn't need to be microphoned or mic'd up because we can all hear it acoustically. But if you're on the live stream, you won't be able to hear those drums unless they're mic'd. So for example, these two channels, 17 and 18, that you can see they've already got lights on, they're actually connected to the drum kit. And so that basically means that 17 and 18 can be adjusted in order to put some sound output to either front of house or the live stream. We don't want it coming through front of house because we don't need it at present. So what we would do in this case is we would unmute it, and we'd only direct it though to the live stream. Now, where is the live stream? The live stream audio channel is here on auxiliary number 5. That is the top green one. So this is usually an empty channel that we don't use, but all the way along here, number 5, basically that provides our balance and our outputs for the stream. So if you need to, for example, add a little bit more piano, we would adjust just this number 5, and you can see the values are actually quite high across here. If you want to listen to what the stream sounds like, you can put the headphones on and you can just press this AFL button here, and that will basically give you the sum total of the signal coming through just this number 5 auxiliary. And so that will help you balance up the stream feed as well as your front of house feed. The person who's on live stream also has their own set of headphones, which comes out of this box here, which is connected to that 5th channel. And basically that means that they too can listen to the stream and make sure that it's balanced well in terms of music and voice and all that kind of stuff as well. So it's important that you check both the front of house and the live stream feeds in the morning. All right, hopefully this will kick in. We're starting up again. You can see this screen turned on because, again, this computer's now on. All right. We're still getting some flickering, which is not good, but I suppose I'll try and fix that. Isn't it great when videos end with a bang? So we're going to try and attempt to fix that. Something to do with a power issue, but hopefully that actually gives you a little bit of an insight into what happened. So quickly, in summary again, you come up here, turn on the lights, turn on your desk power, turn on your computer and projector power, and then basically turn on your projection computer, turn on your lighting desk computer, adjust your lights up, then turn on your streaming computer, and you should be right to go. Oh, you turn on your projectors as well, and you should be right to go. All right, that's it.